Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video where we talk about levels and see whether or not we like them. And today's video topic is about bad deco but good gameplay. Pretty self-explanatory on what we're gonna do today. When the level doesn't have the best decoration, but in terms of gameplay, that's where they hit the mark. Hey, maybe even some of the best gameplay you've ever played. And just like last time, I asked you guys to suggest some levels for this video. And before we get to your suggestions, let's talk about my suggestion first, which is Demonist by Majako. Listen, I get that putting an old level in this type of video is a bit cheating, but I think even for the time that this level was uploaded, it has some issues. I think my main issue with Demonist are the block designs. I get that creators back then didn't really have much to work with the block selections. Hell, there's probably only like 3 types of blocks, so making something cool out of it is probably a challenging feat. But at the same time, what was Majako trying to do with some of these? The first ship part always gets me because like the block design, quote unquote, is literally just the default block just spammed throughout the whole thing. And the first few clicks have floating spikes. Like, I don't know what the intention was, but can you just like, I don't know, connect it to the actual block design? And things like this are littered everywhere. Some blocks looked unfinished because they didn't use the proper like top blocks, and the others literally is just like one block just copy and pasted multiple times. Some to a degree that it's copy and pasted so much it stacks on top of each other and creates this weird looking effect. It's so weird that I actually question whether or not they're intentional. The art is actually pretty cool though. For the time, it was like actually impressive what Majako was trying to do, and even for today's standards, we can appreciate how all of the art was built back in the day. But the gameplay is genuinely so fun. I was actually scared of going for this level because of the first jump, but everything else just feels so satisfying to play. Despite the fact that there are so many like weird timings in the levels, and the goddamn UFO spam, it's genuinely one of the best experiences I've ever had with an Insane Demon. I'd go so far as to say I recommend for everyone to try and play this level. It's that good, at least for me. But with that out of the way, let's see what you guys have to offer. Desert Temple by Michigan, XL, Electric Venom, and The Bill. Desert Temple's deco isn't absolute garbage, but at the same time it isn't really that interesting. But I really like the gameplay of the level and I had fun playing it. It has a few dodgy instances of moving objects that could mess you up, but you could probably memorize it in a practice run or two. Yeah, I agree. As much as I want to glaze the Temple series that Michigan has made, I'll admit that there are some issues that I find in some of the levels. And I think Desert Temple is definitely one of the lower end in the Temple series. Gameplay wise, I think most of them are of the same quality. I had fun with Desert Temple, it's a pretty fun level, but I will say that the decoration is lacking. And I think the main issue I have with it is it feels a bit too empty. It would have helped more, I think, if there were some bricks scattered around in the level in like the background. Not saying to add those like custom backgrounds that moves alongside you, just like subtle brick designs in the backgrounds. That way, it gives the level more atmosphere, if you get what I'm saying. Another thing that I think hurts the level more is the glow on the outlines. I get that people at the time didn't really know how glow works, quote unquote. But if it were me and I had to update the level, I would definitely try and remove the glow on the outlines. As to me, it kinda looks ugly with the bricks on it. You could argue that the issues that I said about Desert Temple could also be applied with the other Temple series levels. But at the very least, they have this quote-unquote excuse that they're pretty old levels. And not only that, the techniques that they used for the time that it was made is actually pretty creative. And to me, Desert Temple is kind of lacking, which kind of hurts more considering the fact that Forest Temple is also in the same update. But to me, Forest Temple actually looks pretty amazing and very like atmospheric. Hypersonic is a mess in some parts of the decoration, but somehow it plays really awesomely. It's so wacky and that makes it so fun. Yeah, Hypersonic decoration wise, it's probably my least favorite in the Sonic series. Like, I get it's early 2.1, But it was also such a weird decision to just suddenly revive the Sonic series. And not only that, the level just doesn't feel like a Sonic level, and what I mean by that is that the level is not like fast. There are slow parts in the Sonic levels, but most of the time, the level speed doesn't like slow down all that much. It's usually only in slow parts of the song. But for Hypersonic, I just feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity here, considering the fact that 2.1 introduced the 4x speed portal, and they barely used it. The only recognizable thing that makes this level a Sonic level is the vibrant ball part. As for the gameplay, it's better than Supersonic. Yeah, I can't lie, I'm not like the biggest fan of Hypersonic's gameplay, but I can see some people that would actually like it. To me, there are just some parts that are a bit weird for me to play, like Pan-Man's part. But hey, maybe I'll like it once I actually beat it. But from the runs that I've done in this level, I'm indifferent to it so far. I always thought Finger Dash looked really rushed in the second half. It's really empty and loses so much color after the beginning sections, but it's honestly one of the most fun Top levels and uses the new 2.1 features 10 times better than most levels in the first year of the update. I can see where you're going with this. I do kind of probably agree that Finger Dash's decoration is not the best compared to the other main levels. Like, I genuinely think this looks worse than X-Step, but it is one of the more fun main levels, I will agree. It's not the most fun, I mean, you can't beat electrodynamics, baby. But I've always had a fun time every time I replay Finger Dash. And not to mention, this has some of the best coins in the main levels. Like, that ship coin is generally some of the most satisfying thing I've ever experienced in a GD level. And the wave coin adds a nice little challenge to the like open wave section. I have to go with Stalemate. The Deco is great and has a good atmosphere, but then the green part comes in which doesn't look good and ruins the atmosphere. Same can be said about the mini ship afterwards. The gameplay on the other hand is fun memory with some fun skill parts for a 1.9 level. It really has a great gameplay. It was a great experience for me. Oh wow, I'm actually quite the opposite of you. I think Stalemate has phenomenal decoration for the time that it was made, 1.9. I actually disagree with you on the green part. I think it adds to the atmosphere and makes the level more intimidating because of the color change. If it stayed red, I probably wouldn't bat an eye on it. And that ship part actually looks pretty cool in my opinion, despite not having like too crazy of a decoration style. But the one part I think that matters the most in this level is the ending part. The execution of it is so good. I actually wish that I can make a part that's as good as this memory part. However, I actually think the gameplay is not only annoying, but also boring. Let's get the obvious part out of the way, the gravity portal spam in the UFO. It took me a while until I figured out what to do, and even then, I was still dying to that part. It's so inconsistent for me, and the beginning part is so like sleep-inducing. And I'm not saying like I hate slow gameplay. Hell, Acropolis is one of my favorite levels of all time. But I couldn't bear with the beginning ship. Even though it's not like hard, it's so boring. I think the only fun parts in Stalemate are the mini ship and the memory part at the end. Everything else is meh at best. Toxic Future, genuinely some of the best and most creative early 2.0 gameplay I've ever seen, and it's a lot of fun to play. Sadly, the Deco is recent top level bad and just ugly. Okay, I've actually had to play this level beforehand, and yeah, no, this is good gameplay. Granted, it's like the easiest thing ever, but it's genuinely some of the most fun I've ever had with an easy level. And there are some unique concepts in there, like the falling acid in the UFO part, which while may seem simple now, for the time that it was made, it was genuinely some cool innovation stuff. But yeah, it's not the best looking thing ever. Listen, again, I get it's early 2.0, but even for early 2.0 standards, this is pretty rough. Some blocks are not connected, the background is pretty empty, the colors are not the best thing ever. I know we're supposed to be in like acid, but still. I think if it were to be remade in today's decoration, it would probably be a genuine like 8 out of 10 level. Though at the same time, people probably will say that it ruins the charm of the level, so don't count me on that. Dear Nostalgist. Okay, I know this person only set the level and didn't say anything else about it, but I mainly put this here to say something. 1.0/layout style levels does not equal bad. Heck, it does not equal objectively bad. We don't know what that means. And before some of you say, oh, but what about the rate standards? What are the rate standards? Robflop just picks and chooses what he likes. The only time he kind of rates level because of the community is because he felt pressured to, like, I don't know, tidal wave. And Dear Nostalgist, for what it's trying to do, is good. It has some unique structurings. That one part in the ship has a cool gimmick. And best of all, the gameplay, while buggy at parts, is good. I normally don't like XL levels, but I really like Dear Nostalgist. It's fun all throughout the level. And for the 1.0 style it's going for, I think it's genuinely like executed really well. Unlike certain levels that I will be talking about later, the 1.0 style in Dear Nostalgist is executed greatly. Asencia, I like fast-paced stuff, but we can all agree that decoration is absolute garbage. This is the level I'm talking about. I don't like it when layout style levels use glow. Because to me, it just feels like you had some sort of decoration laid out for this level, but then you accidentally uploaded the level without it being finished. The one part that sticks to me the most in this level is the part where they show a like city background. And oh my god, that part looks so bad to me. It looks the most unfinished, which is saying a lot considering the level. And the thing is, I do like how Asencia plays. I just wished I cared enough to play it more, but because of how uninteresting the decoration looks, I just couldn't bear myself to it. I think I would have been more fine if it was like a normal design level. But this just looks like a worse version of like generic early 2.1 levels. I just don't like how this looks. Komodo is such an age level, I'll say that. It isn't selling ugly, but it doesn't look great. It is a really fun first extreme, however, except the last ship being harder than the Red World last ship, in my opinion. Maybe it's because it matches my skill set exactly, but it was really fun playing it. Yeah, I've tried Komodo, and it's not the best looking level. In fact, I'd argue it almost looks like Bloody Knuckles, or maybe the first part of audio extraction. But for a beginner extreme, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's as good as like AQ or Cataclysm or Lost Love, but it's a pretty good alternative for those of you who are trying to do something different. Zero Kabi/Citadel. The Deco is definitely not the best, but the gameplay is so good. Zari/Saruko is truly the GD inventor of all time. Okay, Zero Kabi, yes, genuinely one of the most fun levels I've ever played. In fact, it's my favorite level of all time, and I'm not kidding. One of the most fun memory levels I've ever played, and generally one of the most chaotic levels I've ever experienced. I truly think that if Zari/Saruko were still around to this day, they would probably be the next Serpunch. I genuinely think they're some of the most creative people we've ever had in the GD community, but they quit before they could make their magnum opus. And I'll actually disagree with you on the decoration. I think it's some of the most unique and chaotic I've ever seen in the GD level. It has one of the best atmospheres in the GD level I've ever seen. It's so unexpected and chaotic that I actually felt intimidated when I first played this level. Like the beginning cube and the last UFO changing block design every time you teleport is genuinely a really cool gimmick and effect. And the orb maze, even though it's mainly made for gameplay, it funnily enough serves as a decoration in itself just because of how rapidly they move. And that cube maze, god, that cube maze is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a GD level. Zero Kabi, genuinely the best experience I've ever had with a GD level. Nothing could really replace it. And well, that's the end of the video. Do you guys want a sequel to this topic specifically? Let me know in the comments below and I'll try and consider it. And if you want to participate in one of these videos, make sure you subscribe since I post these questions in my community posts. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since I'm trying to hit 6k by the end of the year. And if you want to support me even further, make sure to check out my VGen where you can commission a headshot, half body, full body, a thumbnail, or a banner. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.